Hey everyone, welcome back to the Torana Resurrection build series. It's been a little while since the last update, but that's definitely not because nothing's been happening. I've been flat out with some of your projects and other client work, planning the next stages of this build and getting some awesome new partners on board. A little bit more on that later. As you probably saw if you're subscribed to the channel, I was also over in the US for the SEMA show in Las Vegas. SEMA is on another level in this industry. It's a real eye-opener and it always helps push me to raise the bar and keep leveling up on builds like this one. If you're keen, I've also just put out an article on the trends and influences shaping the industry out of SEMA in the current issue of Street Machine magazine that's out now. Anyway, back to the Torana. I know I said in the last episode that this one was going to be the big wheel reveal, but I'm going to have to be straight with you. I don't have them yet. I was meant to have them earlier this month and I'm still waiting on them now. I didn't want to hold this episode back though, because there's been so much happening on the car and I really wanted to get an update out before the end of the year. So the wheels will be in the first episode in the new year. I've already teed up a tyre partner as well, which is super exciting. So hopefully we won't have to wait too long for that video. Just make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out when it lands. With that said, this episode's still a really big one. There's been a heap happening on the car, so let's get into it. First up, there's plenty happening behind the scenes. A few new partners have already come on board and a few more are in the pipeline. I won't go too deep into all of that just yet. I'll introduce them all properly as they come into play on the car. I've also got the ball rolling with the interior side of things and I dropped everything off with our new build partner on that just the other day. We'll have a few dedicated episodes on all that next year when I run through all the plans, which is going to be super exciting to reveal to you all. On the exterior side of things though, I've had to make a few small tweaks to the flares and also design and print the rear spoiler. The big reason for that is I actually needed to rescan the rear of the car. With the hatch lid now in place and Dale's also finished welding everything on the rear of the shell, everything's kind of like tightened up, which kind of does ever so slightly change the shape of everything back there. I've also never scanned the right-hand side of the car before. And if you remember from the last episode, that flare didn't quite fit perfectly. So I wanted to scan both sides properly again and design a new prototype flare that actually fits the car perfectly. They'll then use this to cut the guards for wheel clearance and just make sure everything works properly. So yeah, the other week I went and rescanned the rear quarters and also grabbed some fresh data from the hatch lid area so the rear spoiler all matches the car properly. While we're talking about scanners, that brings me to some pretty exciting news. I caught up with Einstar, the makers of my current scanner, the Einstar Vega, at SEMA, and I got to try out a few of their brand new units. I told them what I was doing with this build and they were really keen to get involved. So they actually sent me their latest and greatest scanner, the Einstar Rigil, to use on the Torana. It's basically the next generation of the Vega, but it's a really big step up. It's got laser scanning capability and everything's still like self-contained in the unit, which is absolutely unreal. Shining 3D, which is kind of the parent company of Einstar, they're really well known for high-end medical and engineering grade scanners. And they've taken all that knowledge and technology and kind of brought it down the range and applied it to their Einstar range. I think that's what makes these scanners so good is that top-down approach. All their software and everything's really nicely integrated as well. We'll definitely do a deeper dive look into the scanner and I'll show a little bit more of that in a future episode. So if there's anything you want me to cover, leave a comment below and I'll try and run through it all with you. So first up, I had to revise the flares. I've actually already dropped them off with Dale and they're still just prototypes at this stage. I've actually gone back to printing in PLA for the time being. I really want everything to be absolutely perfect with all the shapes and fitment and everything before I commit to printing everything properly in ASA. To get these to print perfectly in ASA without any warping and to make sure everything fits perfectly and also have a really nice production finish, I need to print them really slow and dial everything in properly. So I want the design to be absolutely spot on first before I kind of designate all that time to creating the actual finished product. I've also just finished printing the prototype rear spoiler, which you can see some of that behind me there. And the last one just just finished on the printer before. You can still see all the supports and stuff on it. So later in the episode today, we're going to go down and check out the car and see how it looks on the car. I've also started working on the front spoiler and the bonnet scoop. I'll share a few teaser renders shortly. I still need to 3D scan the bonnet and front end once everything's back together before I can print any prototype parts for that. That might actually be one of the first proper jobs I do with the Rigil over the next few weeks. Now, for the bonnet scoop design, I've always loved the extractor style look you see on cars like the ZL1 Camaro and the ZR1 Corvette. I've tried to blend that with the original A9X Torana bonnet scoop shape so it feels right and sits right on the Torana. Similar with the front spoiler, this one's still very much a work in progress. I want it to feel fresh, but still pay homage to that original A9X style. Let me know what you think. Do you like them so far? Is there anything you'd change? Leave a comment below, and yeah, we'll see where I can evolve them. All right, I think it's time to head down and see Dale and run through everything that he's been working on. So let's go. All right, we're back down at Ward Paint Fabrication here, back with Dale. And as you can see, the car's changed heaps. So Dale, give us a run through of what you've been working on and where we're at.
Yeah, last video I started welding the quarter on for a bit of structural so it's easier holding stuff into position.
Yep.
And then we made a new drip rail for it, kept the original lip, this lip, so it all is factory. Put the outer pillar, made the outer pillar for it.
Yeah, made the inner pillar for it as well.
Yeah,
on the back
inner
side
pillar
of it
as well.
I'll get some footage of it close up so we can actually get a better look at it.
Yeah.
All the back is now
back's done,
welded in and complete.
Yeah, so now we've got the tail light panels fully welded in. Back panels now fully welded in and underneath. Then I guess moving on, we've got obviously tailgates on, gap that. Had them modded. These are aftermarket hinges. I had to do a lot of work to the hinges to get them to sort of work, shaving them and making the holes just a little bit bigger. They weren't 100%.
Yeah.
And I had to replace the whole back section of the roof with a new piece. Yep. And then the corners were totally gone as well. So had to make corners, and I put that on the bead roller so it's got nice swage lines and all looks factory when the rubber's off of it.
You've done all in here too. There's all
all in there. It's got the boot channel. There was nothing there at the boot channel.
Yeah, there's lots of as Dale keeps finding, as soon as we strip some paint off things, there's rust.
Yeah.
And more repairs. So it's not just the
damaged panels we've got to repair. Nah. There's also rust repairs everywhere, and
as you can imagine, yeah,
it's an almost 50-year-old car.
Yep.
50 years old next year.
Yep. That was another. So yeah, the quarter now being fully welded on. It's got the triangle pieces back in there. I think last time.
I think this quarter here had just been done, or maybe it was you finished it off now.
Yeah, that's fully welded on now. Obviously, this pillar's that's fully welded inside and outside because the pillars are 3 pieces. So done that. And then if you're familiar with these hatchbacks, they've got the floor pieces for the wood to sit on. I had to use the old piece, so there was a lot of manipulating and bending to get it to fit nicely to the tub. So that's in, and then it's got another gusset here as well. That all fits.
It's amazing how much, like I said it as soon as I walked in before, I hadn't seen this yet, how complete the car now feels just by having this rear panel in. And it feels so solid now. Like it's really solid.
Well, last time we had the roof flapping in the wind. So yeah, it was pretty crazy to think that we've gotten it this far.
Yeah. So what have been some challenges to get to this point? What's been the hardest, most frustrating bit?
Oh, one bit I thought was going to be pretty easy was doing the floor piece, like just trying to make sure that was...
These inner bits?
Yeah, just so they're all level and nice, and the car being obviously smashed. You ended up using Ari's piece to go across the back, and so it was from a different car altogether. Something that took a lot of time was welding in this roof section, so there was no no distortion to the roof.
Yeah.
You get too much heat in that back section when you're welding along that edge.
Yeah.
And you're going to just
close up.
We replaced this whole back piece.
Yeah.
I think Dale sent me a photo, so I'll put it up. I'll put it up and show. It was
hang
slow
on,
and steady,
I'll go out
wasn't
of
it?
camera for a sec.
Yeah.
But here's the. There's the piece.
Oh, yeah. We'll get some close up of that.
Yeah. So you can take that. You can take that home.
Yeah.
That's a souvenir, mate.
Thanks,
You're
mate.
welcome.
It was looking at that fiberglass.
It's
Yeah.
how it was still attached. I got no idea. But yeah. So yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, now I'm more or less. Yeah, well, the tailgate's gapped. It
Oh, what was that?
opens and
The rubber's in
closes.
place too.
Yep. So that was kind of challenging because I had the tailgate all gapped up with no gas struts on it, just to sort of give me the rough guide of where I need to be.
Yeah.
And it having the aftermarket hinges, and I'm guessing the bolts that they use, they're kind of a little bit loose in there. So when you put the gas struts on, it just pushes the boot lid back and it makes everything all out of shape again.
Yeah.
So that was kind of fun. So yeah, then I'm reworked the hinges and got that all sorted. So yeah, opens and closes great. I do have to just play around with a couple of little bits because I've custom made stuff in the corners. So
Yeah. You've
Just
done
the roof now and found a few more.
things.
talking about rust repairs,
Yeah,
there's
windscreens come out now and there's lots of holes through there. So
yeah. So I'm gonna have to make a whole new front section of the roof
Yeah.
and replace that whole lot, and then the corner where it meets to the door to the guard. I'm just gonna. You can buy those corner caps, but then just means whole front on and all that. I'll just section that bit at the back where the rubber sits on, and I'll make a new bit there. Won't take that long.
But now we've got all the paint off the external panels. We can see everything we're working with. We know the sills. We're going to have to
Replace definitely this side.
Yeah.
Possibly do some
work on that one.
I haven't welded this very bottom of the quarter just because I know that I'm going to have to do some work on the sill.
Yeah.
Because I just found some bits where it's sort of raised a little bit, and I reckon in between the two bits of metal, it's starting to rust.
Yeah.
So, and to do the body like we're doing it, if it takes a couple of days longer and we've got 2 fresh sills on it and stuff, we're better off.
just worth it. It's
Yeah.
no use doing it twice because we know what'll happen if we don't. If we ignore it now, we'll paint it in 12 months' time. Something will pop through.
we're not doing that. No way. So, yeah, we'll do the sills. We'll do those rust around the front window and that. I did have to pull the front.
Yes.
Which
I'm not sure if it was when it went down the embankment or the old owner had told us that there was a kink in the front from him that they fixed. Maybe they didn't fix it properly.
Yeah.
Going by the other repairs, I don't think they fixed it properly. So
I wouldn't be surprised if that was from previous.
Yep.
But you've tweaked that and massaged a few things down the front, so now that's all.
Yeah, the rail, it was still like about 15 mil down. So I've fixed that. I cut the headlight panel out and I tapped all the headlight panel up. I just thought it was easy. Put it in my sandbag, tap it all up nicely, weld it all back in.
Yep.
So that's good as well. So
we'll get the guards back on in a second, and plan is to
Get it looking like a car again, and we'll
push it out, and we'll
give everyone a look at
how it's looking, because it's
going to be good to see it in a
different spot.
maybe back at your house.
Yeah, you just got to get painting.
All right, let's do that.
Let's throw some panels on and do that.
Let's do it.
So I did really want to show the Brembos going on the front in this episode, but they simply won't fit under the 15-inch Combo Pros that are currently on the car, and we still need to roll the car around. So the brake's going to have to wait until the wheels arrive. But I do have some really exciting news on the suspension side of things. Magnet Suspension by Iron Knuckles Fabrication have come on board as a build partner. We're going to be running their tubular front and upper lower control arms, which is a seriously good bit of gear. And we're also going to be running their rear, upper and lower control arms on the back of the car. So that'll all be in a future episode. They're building them all now for us. But it's so awesome to have them involved. All right, so while we're on suspension, I've got these rear springs with adjustable spring perches to go in. Dale and I had actually been talking about ways to refine the rear ride height, and then a post from a guy called Clay Williams came up on one of the Torana group pages, and it turns out that he's already done all the hard work to put together this kit. The best part about this kit is it actually fits all into the original location, and it's actually completely reversible if we wanted to go back to standard springs, but I'm not sure why you'd want to do that. So we'll show these going in the next episode. But if you're interested in a set, reach out to Clay. I'll leave a link to his Instagram page in the description. So really looking forward to these going in. They are going to be great.
Even without the wheels, it's pretty wild to see it come back together like this. This is honestly the closest the Torana's been to looking like a car again since the accident. We shot that first video back in January this year, and at that point, it was pretty hard to imagine it ever looking like this again. A lot of people doubted it could be saved. We even heard a few comments out there saying why they're wasting their time. But having someone like Dale on the job, using all his skills and knowledge, has brought it back to life. The damage is fixed, it's straight, and it's properly back on track now. I know it's not finished yet, but I can say it's no longer broken.
All right, so before we wrap this one up for the year, I just wanted to say thanks to Dale for all your hard work on the car to get it to this point. It's hard to believe that in January we were standing in this exact same spot. The car was all banged up and looking at the way it was, and
Doesn't feel that long.
I'm really appreciative of all your work so far, and I can't wait to see what happens. I know this year's been a pretty shit one for you.
Yeah.
As we mentioned in the last video, Dale lost his dad. Well, a few weeks later, his mum sadly passed away as well. Man. So you've had a shit year.
Yeah, 2025 can bugger off.
So
yeah,
let's have a beer. Say goodbye to 2025 and onwards to a better year in 2026.
Cheers, man.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, guys.
Thanks again for joining us today. I've been blown away by the engagement and support so far. I'm so excited to bring the car to life next year and debut it at MotorX in May. We've still got so much ahead of us and only about 5 months to do it all in. If you've been enjoying the build and want to see where this goes next, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and stick around. The next episode's a big one. Next episode, the wheels are finally going to go on, I promise you. And the Brembos will be going on too. I seriously can't wait. If the timing lines up, it should land just before Summer Nuts. And on Summer Nuts, I'll be up there as well. So if you see me walking around, tap me on the shoulder and say good day. All right, so that's it for this one and also for 2025. Catch you next year. And remember, go all in, build something incredible, and live your dream. See you in the next one.